Write few more test cases. Right. We'll go one by one. Take the task. Write test cases. Write test cases. Or write a test case. Otherwise, write a test case to check admin able to create a new employee or not. Admin able to create a new employee or not in RIHRM application. Admin able to create a new employee or not in RIHRM application. For the fourth scenario number 4, check admin able to register new employee or not is one scenario. For B scenario, create test cases. For the scenario, admin able to create a new employee or not, we ask it to create a test case. Let us write the test case. Is somebody posting a question?
I have written out the test cases for this. Can you check, say, if you want that?
You said you already created?
Yes, sir. You told to write, like, write for few of things, right?
How many of you written?
I have written 4, sir.
4. Did you prepare? Busy?
Sorry?
No, other people I'm asking, madam. Remaining people, anybody created for employee registration? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Online people? Okay. No worries. After this, we'll have a review. You write, remaining people write. Write a test case to verify admin able to create a new employee or not in RIHRM product. The test case number 6. Already 5 we have created. What is the description? Check admin able to.
Is there a new employee or not?
You can use a word either create or register or add, whatever it may be. Create new employee or not with valid inputs. Valid inputs. We should not use a word credentials here. Only username, password we call as credential, not each and every input data. With valid data or with valid inputs. Step 1, open the browser, enter valid URL and click go. rihrm.qtech.com is the URL. System should display RIHRM login page. Step 2, yes. Login as admin. To login as admin, I'm using the username admin and the password. As per my test case document, Suresh@123 is my password. Yesterday we reset the password, I'll change the password.
System should display the admin module.
Right. System should display admin module. Step 3. Yes. From the admin module, cover the remaining navigation.
PIM, sir. PIM or something.
See, I do not know how the developer is going to write it, develop it. See, the moment when we are writing the test cases, do we refer the application? Remaining people, listen this question clearly. When we are writing test cases, do we refer the application?
No.
Do you create test cases by the reference of application, by the reference of the requirements?
By the reference
By
of
the
requirements.
requirements.
When we are creating test cases, application not ready. Other side developers are building the product. This side we are making our test cases ready to test the product being constructed. Meaning, the moment when you are writing the test cases, we don't have the application. Test cases are derived from the requirements. I do not know whether the PAM link or XYZ link. Generally, right? I do not know where the navigation is going to be given by the developer. Somewhere in the admin module, there will be an option to create a new employee, correct? Where the navigation given in the admin dashboard, I do not know. How the developer going to build it, I do not know. So now my step will be go to employee registration page. Go to new employee registration page. Wherever it is available navigation, I have to go to the employee registration page from the admin dashboard. Maybe click PAM, click something else, whatever it may be. Go to new employee registration page. Enter. After going to employee registration page, enter. What do we have to enter? During the KT, I said, first name and last name are the mandatory fields. During the KT, the senior person will explain, these are the fields required in the employee registration form. Or if there is a reference of the FRS document, check out this one. If the FRS document available, we refer the FRS document. Actually, for this RHRM, I don't have a FRS, just I show you this Primus Bank application FRS. Deeply listening. Input fields, username, password, mandatory fields. I'll take one example of like employee registration page, branch registration page in Primus Bank application. New branch creation page in Primus Bank application, not in RHRM. If really FRS document available for your project, if the FRS document is given to you, there will be a section called input validation, input fields, input validations. What is the field name here? Branch name. Whether it is mandatory field or optional field. Mandatory. What about address one? Mandatory. Address two? No. Address three? No. Area code, not mandatory field. Zip code, mandatory field. Country, state, and city, mandatory field. See, a page has 10 fields. A page has 10 fields. First name, middle name, last name, address 1, address 2, address 3, contact number, email ID, bank account details, something like this. Any application, not only this RIHRM or Primus Bank, any application, we no need to test optional fields. Any application, we no need to cover, we no need to test optional input fields? Tell me the technical reason. Why no need to test? Why we no need to test optional fields? Tell me one technical reason. Yes, madam. Optional fields meaning any data you can keep, correct? You can leave also. You check any application, optional field, try to create a Google account, Facebook account, there will be some optional fields, right? Whatever the data you keep, it will accept. If you leave also, it will accept because it is not a mandatory column. Optional fields will accept any kind of input data. You can leave also. No developer will implement any condition, any validation in the optional fields. Supposing in this employee registration form, in a new employee registration form, first name is a mandatory field. Middle name is not a mandatory field. Last name is a mandatory field. Say, for example, 3 fields and I have submit button. In the mandatory fields, let's say this is also mandatory field. In the mandatory fields, what is this? Sorry? Using JavaScript at front-end level, UI level, programmer will implement some validations. He should accept minimum 4 characters, maximum 40 characters, alphabets only, numbers only these special characters allowed, not remaining special characters are not allowed. Such kind of conditions are called validations implemented at UI level by developers only at mandatory fields using JavaScript. In optional fields, no code or no validations will be implemented. Simple text box will be created and leave it. There's nothing to validate there. It accepts any kind of input data. What is there to validate? It accepts any kind of data. You can also leave. Is there anything to test there? Nothing. So, no conditions enforced by developer in the optional fields. In any product, optional fields we can skip for testing. We no need to test optional columns in any software application. So, based on this, you tell me what is your step description. Go to new employee registration page. Continue.
Fill the mandatory fields.
Enter all mandatory fields with valid inputs. Enter
And
all mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. This will be my step. Okay. My step description. Go to add employee page, new employee registration page, enter all mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. Let me write it. Go to new employee registration page. Enter all mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit or save or whatever it may be. Click submit. Fine. I written like this. Somebody else referring my test case document. My step is saying enter all mandatory fields. What are the mandatory fields? Where it is? Where it is? We know. Somebody else referring our test case to continue execution. What is the purpose of creating these test cases? To avoid dependency only, correct?
Yes.
Based on
Execution
my
will be
document,
possible after
anybody
development.
who do not know anything about our product or HRM should be able to test it. My step is saying enter all mandatory fields. This person do not know what are the mandatory fields. The person who is executing this test do not know what are the mandatory fields. These are the mandatory fields. This is some sample data to be entered, need to be mentioned somewhere. Where? Somewhere. Where? Test data column. That is the next column. Test data column. Go to employee registration page. Employee registration page. Enter all mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. Here I list out what are the mandatory fields to be entered. For example, first name, Richards. Last name, something. Last name, something, whatever it may be, some sample data. So now your document is clearly explaining you, anybody, these are the two mandatory fields to be entered, then click submit button. What is expected? System should create the new employee successfully. System should create new employee successfully.
And it
Yes.
should direct to the personal page, right? So according to the development that is there.
How the navigation developer going to implement, I do not know. The focus is whatever the navigation he or she implemented, I should able to create an employee successfully. That's it. Maybe he may redirect to employee details window, or he may display a message, new employee created successfully, whatever it may be. During the application access, during the test run, during this test execution, we are going to check after creating an employee, whether it is showing to the appropriate page or not. A developer may show like this. A new employee created successfully some message. When I click the message, when I click the OK button on the message, it is showing employee details window. Or it is asking me, do you want to continue to create another employee? That is programmer choice. How the developer going to design the page, I do not know. Finally, my intention, admin able to create a new employee or not. These kind of small things, while generally we focus during ad hoc testing. Finally, all functionalities are working or not. Admin able to create a new employee or not. For the next step, every test case execution must independent to each other. Log out. Step 4, click log out. No data required. System should redirect to login page. Done. This test case number 6 belongs to test scenario number 4. And this scenario is very high priority scenario because in human resource management system, employee registration is a major work. This also very high priority. What about negative test case if you write for this? Tell me what is the negative test case for this? Check new employee registration with invalid inputs. Step 1, launch the RHRM application, open the browser. Step 2, login as admin. Step 3, go to new employee registration page. Step 4, leave all mandatory fields blank and click submit. Expected system should display error message. Please fill in the following mandatory fields. The mandatory fields need to be highlighted. It's showing a message, okay, the mandatory fields need to be highlighted. So that the user immediately go to the mandatory field, enter the data to continue. Also, not only leaving mandatory fields, also enter invalid inputs. What do you mean by invalid inputs? Supposing first name, there are some condition. This is our next topic, ECP and BBA. First name, there is a condition, minimum 4 characters, maximum 40 characters. Minimum 4 characters, maximum 40 characters. What are the valid inputs here? 4 characters valid, 5 characters valid, 6 characters valid, up to 40 characters. But I no need to test with all. We apply a technique called boundary value analysis. Where boundary value? Tell me. First name should accept a string ranging between 4 to 40 characters. I no need to do exhaustive testing here. 4 characters, 5 characters, 6 characters, 7 characters, up to 40 characters. To avoid this exhaustive testing, we apply a technique called either ECP or BVA. Here there is a range. When there is a range, we apply boundary value analysis. The lower boundary value, 4 characters for positive testing. The upper boundary value, 40 characters, again for positive testing. Lower boundary value -1, 3, that is invalid data. When I keep 3 characters, does the system showing appropriate error message or not? What is the expected message? First name should not be less than 4 characters. Or it should display a message. First name should be between 4 to 40 characters. Some meaningful message. I'll input 41 characters. System should not accept and should display error message. First name should not exceed 40 characters, something like that. So based on this, we have to create some sample data. Enter invalid data and click submit button. Check system showing appropriate error message or not. One more step. Leave all mandatory fields blank and click submit button. Check a system showing relevant error message or not. It comes under invalid case. Got it? And today we'll talk about that BPA and ECP in detail. And last test case. You got the confidence?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you the functionality directly. Based on this, you write the procedure. In this RIHRM application, modify, delete, I'm removing. Scenario 8. What is that? Check admin able to create a login account for the registered employee with admin role or not. Next scenario. Check admin able to create a login account for the registered employee with employee role or not. Almost same, but rule is different. You write the test case for scenario number 8. I'm showing you the explaining the feature now. Admin will log in. Go to, that's what I said, navigation, I do not know. Somewhere in the admin dashboard, there will be an option for creating a login account. Go to new user registration page. Go to meaning this navigation, correct? Go to new user registration page, this page. Whatever the navigation implemented, that is programmer choice. Design, sometimes they will change also from version to version. Go to new user registration page. By seeing this window, you tell me the procedure. It is user registration window. Select the user role as admin, because what is the test case? Admin able to create a login account for the registered employee with admin role or not. Select the role as admin, then enter all remaining mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. Select the role as admin, enter all remaining mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. What are the remaining mandatory fields? Employee name, username,
Employee name, username, status,
some password. This
password.
data we have to
confirm password.
prepare. What is expected? System should create a login account successfully.
As in-
What is the confirmation? What is the confirmation it created? Log out as admin, login,
As admin.
new login account created. Expected? Admin model, because you created a login account for admin role. Login as a registered user, login with newly created user, check admin module is displayed or not. If I am writing a test case to verify, next scenario, admin able to create a login account for employee or not, procedure is almost same. Step 1, open the application. Step 2, login as admin. Step 3, go to user registration page. Step 4, select the role as employee.
Employee.
Select the
And
role
what-
as
And
employee.
enter all the
And-
values.
Enter all remaining
the
mandatory fields
mandatory
with
fields with
valid
valid
inputs and click
inputs.
submit.
Log out as admin and
Log
log in
as
as
admin. Log in with
Okay.
newly registered user. Expected system should display employee module. Because this user I created with the employee role. Like this, we have to write the procedure. At least write for this. Note on this. Okay, anyhow, you write for this previous one, you can skip it. I have already documented. Create a test case. Create a test case to check. Create a test case to check. Create a test case to check. Admin able to create a login account. Admin able to create a login account for the registered employee. Admin able to create login account for the registered employee with employee role or not. I'm changing the role. I'm changing the role with employee role or not. Not for test case number 8. Sorry, scenario number 8. Write for scenario number 9. Admin able to create login account for registered employee with employee role or not. You write the procedure. Venkat, stop recording for 2 minutes. Check admin able to create a login account. 1 second, I'll change it. Create. See, this is what generally after you write, again you have a check whether the way you documented is legible, understandable or not. See, generally what I do, I created say 4 or 5 test cases today. After writing test cases, I documented the procedure. 2-3 times I re-verify. The way I documented is legible, understandable or not. Definitely we do some mistakes. If I feel everything is fine, then only I'll submit to my lead. First time when you are writing, definitely we do some mistakes. Review your test cases. If any corrections are needed, correct it, then you submit to your team lead. Check admin able to create new login account. New login account. New login account. Or not. Admin able to create new login account or not. For registered employee with employee role. With the role, with role, employee, or with employee role, whatever it may be. Check admin able to create new login account or not. For registered with employee role. Open the browser step 1, login as admin, go to user registration page. Check this major step here. Go to user registration page. Go to new user registration page. Select role as employee. Enter all remaining mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. So what is the data to be entered? First role, employee. Employee name, whatever I created earlier, Richards, John. Username, Richards. Password, Richards @123. Confirm password, same. System should create new login account successfully. To confirm, log out as admin. Then next step, login with new user created. Richards @123. Expected, system should display employee module. It's clear, right? Understand the test case writing process? The last
Yes, sir.
assignment. To conclude this topic, a small last assignment. Simple, but you'll get very good test cases here. This exercise to conclude this topic, to have the clarity about the test case writing. Note on this. Write test cases. Write test cases. Write test cases to check. These are test cases. Test case. Write a test case to check addition functionality. Addition functionality in calculator application. Write a test case to check addition functionality in a simple calculator application. Write it. Now, if you understand this process once again, subtraction, multiplication, everything will come in the same manner. Only I wanted one test case to verify addition feature in this calculator application. You create different plans, how to test addition, think like a user, create different plans, document the procedure, proceed. Stop recording, Venkat. Procedure. No need to write, I am not writing. You just explain what is the procedure you documented. Check addition functionality in calculator application with not or not. Check addition functionality in calculator application with valid inputs. That is the test case description. Step 1, open calculator application, not URL. It's a Windows application. Open calculator application, step 1. Step
From
2.
startup menu, can you write it or just a calculator application?
Directly you can write start, click start button, not required. Open calculator application. Step 2. Enter 2 positive numbers and click submit. Or click equal, sorry, not submit. Enter 2 positive integers, then click equal. Sample data may be 10 and 20. Expected 30. Next step. Enter 2 negative integers and click equal. Sample data -10, -5. Expected -15. Based on your sample data, expected you have to write. -5, -10, expected -15. Then.
Shouldn't we mention click C so that calculator is set to 0 again?
No, that's click on 0, click on C, that's not required, such kind of things. Major plan, we have to check with 2 positive integers. For that, 1 step. We have to check with 2 negative integers. For that, 1 step. We have to check with 2 real numbers. 10.25 plus 20.25, expected 30.50. Did you cover these real numbers? 2 positive integers, 2 negative integers, 2 real numbers, 1 positive integer, 1 negative integer combination.
Sir, before that, no need to check all the keys working or not?
See, if the test case is verify all buttons of the calculator application, that is the test case, you have to check. The scenario clearly I mentioned, you are writing the procedure to check only addition. If my next test case is verify all buttons of the calculator, then your steps will be so click this button, click this button, click this button, like this we have to write. Only the major why I given this task, you have to consider the test data. That is our next topic actually. Test data preparation. To execute some test cases, we need to plan some data, some sample data for testing a feature. To test addition feature in calculator, my planned sample data will be, okay, first let us input 2 positive integers, then 2 negative integers, then 1 positive integer, 1 negative integer, then 2 real numbers. These combinations of data is generally called test data, which is a part of a test case. In order to prepare effective, proper test data, there are some testing techniques called equivalence class partitioning and boundary value analysis. There is a condition, employee name minimum 4 characters, maximum 40 characters. There is a condition, when I made a money transfer below 10,000 rupees, 2 rupees are service charges. For the amount between 10,001 to 1 lakh, 5 rupees are service charges. For the amount between 1 lakh 1 to 10 lakhs, 20 rupees are service charges. So for example, if I want to test this money transfer functionality, what kind of sample data we have to consider? For that, we need to discuss about a topic called equivalence class partitioning, then boundary value analysis. These two techniques help us to prepare some sample data for testing a feature. Note on the topic. Test case design techniques. Test case design techniques. Test case design techniques. Test case or test design techniques. What is the meaning of a technique? What is the meaning of generally a technique? A smart way, easiest way of doing a work is called technique. What is exhaustive testing? Exhaustive testing. Testing everything. It is not a smart way. Testing everything is called exhaustive testing, which is not practically possible. To avoid this exhaustive testing, to minimize the count of test cases, in order to save the time and cost of testing, there are some proven testing techniques called ECP and DBA. Make some short note. To avoid exhaustive testing, to avoid exhaustive testing, to avoid exhaustive testing, for a moment, stop writing. Let's say I'm testing an employee registration feature in some product. There is a field called age of the employee. The user has to input age of the employee. As per the condition, he should accept an age between 21 to 60. He should accept a value between 21 to 60. I want to verify the field accepting a value between 21 to 60 or not. Explain what is the meaning of exhaustive testing in this example. First enter 21. Verify whether it is accepting or not. Then input 22. Check whether it is accepting or not. Input 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, up to 60. How many combinations you get here? 40. Only in positive direction. What about negative? He should not accept a value below 21. 20 he should not accept. 19 he should not accept. 18 he should not accept. He should not accept a value above 60. 61, 62, 63, up to 100, 101, I cannot say. What is the maximum age? What is the maximum boundary? Can we decide 100? No. Okay, leave it infinite. Outer boundary you cannot decide in this scenario, but above 60 you should not accept. If I want to test this field with all possible valid inputs and invalid inputs, you need to develop so many sample data, and really we need to spend a lot of time here. To check a small functionality, we need to put a lot of time and effort. It is really impractical. This is not the professional way of doing testing. Testing with each and every input is not a qualified testing approach. To avoid this kind of exhaustive testing, to ensure 100% requirement coverage, to minimize the count of test cases to save the time and cost of testing, There are some proven software testing techniques. Equivalence class partitioning and boundary value analysis. How you test it, tell me? How you test this field? Random testing will not guarantee the quality. Random testing will not guarantee the quality. Say, for example, okay, you said random testing, give me some numbers. Give me some sample data. Random testing. Approximately, we are picking 1 or 2 sample values. Tell me some samples.
30.
47. 58. Okay, let us take this three. Assume that your programmer made the code in this way inside the application. If the age field greater than 21 and the age field less than 60, accept, else display some error message. Assume that your developer implemented the condition like this, code like this. Okay? There is a mistake in this code. No. Greater than or equal to 21. But I given only greater than. Less than or equal to 60. I given only less than. Some mistakes are made at boundary conditions. But as a tester, I am not seeing the code inside, correct? I'm testing at application level. You said some random numbers. I'll enter the number 33. Though there is a mistake in the logic, it will accept or not. 33, about 21, true. About 21, true. And 33 below 60, true. True, untrue, true. This code will run, it will accept. Randomly you pick another value, 47. 47 is greater than 21, true. 47 less than 60, true. True, untrue. Finally, true. It will accept. 58. 58 above 21, true. 58 below 60, true. It will accept. You tested with 3 random values. You are able to find the bug? No. If you stop testing here, you are missing a bug. You randomly pick some value and tested. 3 values are satisfied. You decided functionality perfectly working and stop testing. But there is a bug left in. Random testing will not guarantee the quality. Approximately picking some value, randomly picking some value testing is not a correct approach of doing testing. It will not guarantee the quality or bug free. There are some proven techniques. Test with lower boundary value because there is a range. What is the range here? 21 to 60. Test with the boundary values. Lower boundary value 21. Upper boundary value 60 for positive testing. 21, 60 for positive testing. Lower boundary value -1, 20. Upper boundary value +1, 61 for negative testing. Only these 4 samples I planned. You check with these 4 samples now. First I am giving 21. 21 greater than 21, false. 21 greater than 21, false. 21 less than 60, true. False, untrue, false. It will display the error message instead of accepting it, correct? It should accept, but it is showing a error message, meaning there is a deviation, there is a bug. Simple, we have identified it. If you test with random values, we cannot guarantee the quality. There are some proven testing techniques. Only 4 samples, 100% coverage will be guaranteed. If really programmer didn't made any mistake, you can identify the mistake only with the sample values. You no need to test with the remaining values. There are proven techniques. There are proven formulas. BCCB and BB. Got it? Take the notes now. Where I stop? To avoid exhaustive testing and to minimize the count of test cases, so many random values you no need to pick. Less but 100% coverage is guaranteed. Less inputs, 100% coverage will be guaranteed. To minimize the count of test cases, following techniques introduced in software testing.
Sir, repeat, sir. Repeat, sir.
To avoid exhaustive testing and to minimize the count of test cases, following techniques introduced in software testing. Following techniques introduced in software testing. What are all the techniques? Two techniques there. ECP and BVA. ECP stands for equivalence class partitioning. BVA full form is boundary value analysis. To avoid exhaustive testing, to reduce the count of test cases, these two techniques are introduced in software testing. These two techniques are proven techniques. ECP and BVA. Equivalence class partitioning and boundary value analysis. What is this ECP technique? Already I told you this. Somewhere I discussed about this while giving some topic. I given this generic example also. After cooking 1 kg of rice, remember? What you remember? Madam?
There is no need of checking full rice.
Yeah, we
I
need
no need to test
sample.
each and every grain is boiled or not. Approximately, we pick one middle piece and test whether it is boiled or not. Okay, the logic is all grains are put in the same vessel, cooked in the same temperature. One piece is boiled, the logic is remaining pieces also will boil. No need to test each and every piece. If you check each and every piece, there will be nothing to eat. Exhaustive testing is not required. Correct? I given another example also like this. I want to check I am audible to these online class students or not. I no need to ask each and every student. I no need to ask each and every student. I'll ask one student. One student said I am audible. Same equipment, same net connection I am using. From my end, it is clear. If one student said I am audible, from my end, it is clear. Correct? Yes. I no need to ask remaining 59 people. I asked one student, I am visible or not. They said I am visible. From my end, video is clear then. Correct? I no need to ask remaining 59 people. Such kind of testing technique is nothing but equivalence class partitioning. What is this equivalence class partitioning? It is one of the testing technique helpers to eliminate unwanted test cases, to reduce count of test cases. As per ECP testing technique, first you identify all possible inputs to verify a feature. The previous example, 21, 22, 23, 24 up to 60. First you identify all possible input conditions to test a functionality. Divide them into partitions, groups. 21 to 60, one partition, you should accept. Below 21, you should not accept. Above 60, you should not accept. How many partitions? 3. All inputs belongs to one partition should produce the same output. When I give 21 or 22 or 23 up to 60, you should accept. All inputs expected output is same. System should accept. All inputs below 21, expected output is same. A should not below 21. All inputs belongs to other side, right side partition. 61, 62, 63, whatever, system should display error message, age should not exceed 60. Hence, we call them as equivalence groups, equivalence partition. As all inputs producing the same output, all inputs belongs to one partition giving the same output, definitely same logic is getting executed inside. Same code is getting executed inside the application. Why to test the same code again and again, waste of time? One time is enough. This kind of testing technique is called equivalence class partitioning. Make some short description. I'll give the application level example. Equivalence class partitioning. It is one of the testing technique. It is one of the testing technique. It's one of the testing technique. Help us to eliminate unwanted inputs to test a functionality. Unwanted inputs to test a functionality. Let's say this RIHRM application login functionality. I want to test RIHRM application login functionality. How many modules available in this application? Two major modules. When an administrator login, system should display admin module. Login should display admin module. Any employee login, system should display employee module. I want to verify that the login behaving as expected or not. I'll go to this RIHRM project. I want to test the login feature. First, I need some sample data for testing it, correct? I log in as administrator. Oh, sorry. I went to user space. Oh, so many registered users. How many registered users are available? 78 registered users are available in the system. If you really check login feature for all 78 users, it is called exhaustive testing. All 78 people are able to log in successfully or not. If I check with all registered users present in the database, it is called exhaustive testing, which is not needed. So tell me your approach here. How you test login? There are two roles of users. Admin type users. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. From this 10, I'll pick one, any one. I'll pick any one, say for example, Rajesh. Login as Rajesh. What is expected module? Admin module. Next time, from all these employee accounts, I'll pick one account. For example, Nirmala. System should display employee module. For the two user system working as expected, login working properly, correct? In this application, you know, every software application will have its database. Let's say in the database of the application, I have a table, login users. So here in RIHRM application level, I have an option to see the users. In the application level, I am able to search the required users, correct? If application level, I don't have this page, I have to go to the database. If application level, I have an option to pick up the data, I'll pick up the data from the application. Supposing in this RHRM application design, I don't have this page where I'm able to see all of the users. No way I have to connect to the database of the application. Select, start from this table where role equal to admin. I'll take one user. Select, start from this user, this table where role equal to employee. I'll take one user. For this, you need to have little idea about SQL also. Really, application level, there is an option to decide. You no need to go to database. As per our application design, there is no option to pick some data or validate something at application level. No way we have to go to the database and we have to perform the validation. I'll explain few practical scenario while I'm teaching DB testing, database testing. Fine. Here, I have a table called login users, user ID, password, and role available. Let us say user 1, admin type user, user 2, employee type user, like user 1000, some employee type user. Totally, there are 1000 registered users in the database. I no need to test login with all 1000 registered users. So what you will do? I'll pick one user belongs to admin category. I pick one user belongs to employee category. These two test cases are enough. I no need to test with 1000 samples. This technique is called equivalence class partitioning. Now you may have a question. Sir, what is the guarantee for remaining 998 users? Functionality will work. I'm testing only with 2. What is the guarantee for remaining users? Login will work as expected. Okay. How generally programmer will write the code? Generally, programmer will write the code in this way. We enter username, password, and click submit. First, programmer will verify the entered user is available in the database or not. Not in the database. Display error message, invalid username or password. If available in the database, what developer will do? Pick up the role. Pick the role of the user. After picking the role, the logic will be like this. If role equal to A, maybe if the role equal to A, show admin module. Else, if role equal to E, show the employee module. Like this, generally programmer will create the logic. No other logic. Either Java or Lava or Python, this should be the logic to be created. If role of the user equal to A, show admin module. Else, if the role of the user equal to E, show employee module. Now, in my database, I have 1000 registered users. User 1 admin category. User 10 also admin. User 100 also admin. Consider this now. User 1 available in the database. Programmer will pick up the role. First condition will be satisfied. This code will run. Admin module will be visible. For any user belongs to A, same code will run, correct? Why to test that same logic again and again? Waste of time. One time is enough. That is ECP technique is saying. Understand the point? Supposing if I am working on a ERP application where there are 10 modules, 10 different types of users. All 10 types of users will log in from the same section. Definitely you have to check login with 10 user types. When a salesperson login, sales module displayed or not. When an accounts person login, accounts module displayed or not. When a finance person login, finance module displayed or not. When a HR person login, HR features are displayed or not. When an admin login, everything is admin dashboard is displayed or not. Understand the point here? So, based like this, we have to decide. As per ECP technique, consider all possible input conditions to validate a feature. All meaning 1000 in this example. Now divide them into groups. How many groups here? Users related to admin, one category. Users belongs to employee, another group. Now take one user from each group, preferably middle one. Approximately middle one. This is what ECP technique is saying. Understood? Where I stop? ECP is one of the software testing technique. Help us to eliminate unwanted test cases. Unwanted inputs are unwanted test cases. Next paragraph. As per ECP technique, as per ECP technique, as per ECP technique, consider all possible input conditions, all possible input conditions all possible input conditions to validate a feature. All possible input conditions to validate a feature. All possible input conditions to validate a feature. Then divide them into groups. Divide them into groups. Divide them into groups. While making a group, make sure that all inputs that belongs to a group, while making a group, make sure that all inputs that belongs to a group is producing all inputs that belongs to a group is producing the same logical output. All inputs that belongs to a group is producing the same logical output. Let me explain what I explained here in the notes. First, you find out all possible input conditions. There are 1,000. Divide them into groups. Admin category users, employee category user. On what basis you created a group? Make sure that all users that belongs to a group is giving the same output. Any user belongs to this group, admin module should be visible. Any user belongs to this group, employee module should be visible. Hence, we call them as equivalence groups or equivalence partition. Make sure all input that belongs to a group is giving the same logical output. Continuation. Now consider one input. Now consider one input from each group. One input from each group, preferably middle one for testing. Preferably middle one for testing. Now consider one input from each group, preferably middle one for validation, for testing. So this example will explain you about the ECP technique. Hope you understood this, right? You note down this example and we log off here for today. You take this and log out for today and we connect tomorrow, we continue tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll explain about boundary value analysis technique. Also another important subject, requirement traceability matrix, shortly called RTM. Okay? Free tomorrow? So Saturday, right? Free or busy? Right, online team, we connect tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Stop recording.